If you ever caught yourself thinking, I'm doing everything right, why does this feel so hard? This episode is for you. You're putting in the work, managing properties, growing your portfolio, showing up, but it still feels like the more you do, the less progress you make.
We've all been there. And the truth is, if you don't have time left at the end of the day to build and grow your current portfolio, you don't have a time problem. You actually have a process problem. So in today's episode, we're going to share with you 3 simple strategies that you can apply today to get unstuck and free up your time.
You're doing everything right. You're showing up, you're managing your properties, you're handling tenants, all of their comments and questions. You're working late at night. But it feels right, Andresa, for so many women that they're just not getting ahead. They feel even behind than they were the day before. So hard work is not equating to the success that they wanted on their own terms. That's the gap, right? And so the biggest part when you are doing so much, again, working hard, is that you're actually not spending the time to grow your business, which is quite honestly one of the most important things, the most important thing to get you to where you want to go on your own terms. So, I know for me, there was a season when we were really growing our portfolio. Me and Matt were scaling fast. And again, I was wearing a lot of different hats. Some of the hats I was wearing was aligned with what I was good at. Other things I was not. I shouldn't have been doing. But I was doing because, quote unquote, we couldn't afford to not do it or to hire someone, or at least I told myself that. And I remember when there was a couple moments that I was just late. I was late on our mortgage for like 2 or 3 properties. It happened again the next month. It happened a couple times. And it's scary, right? Because we had the funds to pay it, even though they were slim. And my husband's like, if we got to change something here, this isn't effective. And you're actually not even good at it. And I take things personally. I used to, I somewhat do, but I was like, after taking it personally and getting a little offended, I said, you're right. We really need to hire a bookkeeper. And so we hired a bookkeeper. We were charged about $200 part-time. And that was one of the best things that we did. So I wasn't working as hard on all the different things that I needed to do. And I actually had time and space to work on growing the business, right? Finding new opportunities, finding investors, the things that were our lifeblood. And that's really important. And the action I want to encourage you to do for yourself, because if you say this sounds like a great concept, right, Andresa? Great concept. But how do I make that real? So I'm still going to work hard, but I need to create a structure, because at the end of the day, you don't have a time problem. You have a process problem. So here's what I want you to do. You're going to protect your schedule. That is the most important thing you can do. And it's called the done by one strategy. So pretty much what you're doing is you're blocking your morning up until 1 o'clock with no meetings, no calls, nothing that someone else needs something from you. It's more of that strategic time for yourself. And if you're like, Liz, I cannot do that, there's no way.
Oh, that was me. That was
you,
me.
right?
I resist the hell out of it. I'm like, impossible. All my team meetings are there. This is where I gave all the excuses in the world. I said it. I'm like, this is when I do my best work. What do you mean? People are going to be waiting for me. What do you mean? I cannot open up my emails and answer people. They cannot wait. They're going to die if I don't do it in the morning. That was me.
Did you do this every day, or did you start? I know you do this a lot of the days now, but did you start with one day? Like, what worked for you to build that muscle? Even hearing it, for some women are like, hold on, I don't know if I could even do that.
So it was during the team meeting that we like to do this. We like to test it out. So we say, well, might as well, let's test it out as the strategy is proposing. Otherwise, you might not. If I tested out a diet, one day yes, another day no, I'm not going to get the result, right? And then I'm like, oh, that didn't work. So we tested out, we shook hands on doing that for an entire week and then see what were the results, if we liked it, if we didn't, what worked and what didn't. And it did work. So we implemented across the board.
Yeah, it makes so much sense. And so do that for yourself, put that action into place. We promise you, again, we'll give our pinkies, Andresa likes to say.
Let me just share with people the transformation that happened, because I think it's important to share what I got by it, right? By allowing a clear morning, I was able to focus on my priorities as the CEO of this company and the co-founder of this company. My priorities and not everybody's priorities first. I fed myself first. I pay myself first. So it's my first priorities. So my bucket was full. And I also set my team for success. I was able to do that. And that also, quote unquote, forced them to really be prepared the day before or the week before, because all our goals I would analyze in the morning. So I really needed to know all the priorities for the week and everything the day before. So we always operate based on the past. And I'll be honest with you, it gave me more peace of mind. It gave me more peace of mind, which I thought like that's never gonna happen over here. I just go do. But it gave me a lot of peace of mind. So those are the things that I got out of it.
Absolutely. And because I gave myself that space, and then I was able to fire myself from very specifically bookkeeping and then other roles, I got more space to work on growing the business. Again, for me at that time, my best time was finding opportunities, finding investors. That was really where my time was best spent. But as I'm talking about this, there's a habit that needs to get formed, Andresa, right? And for women, there's a delegation habit, right? I was able to delegate, even a small part-time bookkeeper. I was able to delegate that task over to her, even just paying the mortgage on time. And that really freed me up. That is a habit a lot of women listening have not built. And it can feel overwhelming. Like, hold on, I don't even have $200, or I don't have the space or the finances to hire someone who I really need to hire to free me up to even have that done by one strategy. So what do those women do? What can they do if in that thinking and as they're building that habit?
I think it all starts with awareness, right? Number one, I don't want to be the bottleneck or the reason why my business is not growing. If you accept that as the ultimate goal, you will understand that the natural way to grow is to fire yourself from every single damn position you are in right now. So that is the natural way to go. If you cannot let go of the control or whatever the reason is that you're holding everything, then the other tactics doesn't really matter. So it starts with believing that you want to build a sustainable business that does not rely on you 24/7. And now, what are the skills, the system that you need to put in place for that to happen now or later? And I encourage you to do now. I was somebody that back in the day thought if I go to Home Depot in person and pick all the finishes, I will be saving a couple of bucks on my rehab project. That's a win. That was the mentality that I had, right? And if that's you, I encourage you to think about other ways of executing it. I tried to carry a toilet once from the shelf to the cart. That didn't work. I'm 5'4". That didn't work. Did I try it? Yes. And let's be honest here. If you're listening, is because you are a driven women real estate investor and you build a portfolio and that worked. You're damn good. It worked. So, what worked up to now will hold you back from scaling, from growing, and really getting your time back. So, here are four things that I encourage you to think about when you are looking at your business as a whole. Number one, simplicity. Is there anything that you can simplify, you can delete from the process? How can you make things more simple? You can create templates of finishes list, which is what I did. So I don't have to pick the damn color of the wall over and over again. I don't want to spend energy into that. I want to spend energy into growing the business. Simple as that. Unless you're building multi-million dollar and all the colors of the house change. If it is not, I don't want to spend energy with that. Systematize. When you think about firing yourself from the position that you are in, is reducing, making things simple for you. Number two, firing yourself, but putting a process in place, an auto email reply, creating a Calendly link, back and forth of, oh, can you do 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time? No, I can't. Can you do Friday? How many times? I can't do that, right? So what system can you put in place? Here's my link, and those are the times that I am available, or vice versa. So stop wasting the time with small tasks. The third thing is delegated. And if you are somebody that understands the power of delegation, that being said, your business cannot afford a full-time person at this moment, I got you, right? I encourage you to think about fractional delegation. At the beginning, I also couldn't afford. What I did is that I bought somebody's hour, 2 hours per week to be more specific. And then those 2 hours, I focus on growing the business. And I'll tell you in a couple of minutes what exactly you can do, where you should focus. We'll tell you. And that got me addicted. So the more hours I bought, more hours I wanted to buy. So I really encourage you to start buying more hours. And here's one thing that I really want all of you to pay attention. Stop what are you doing? Listen to what I'm saying right now. Many times what we think it will cost is actually not true. So go figure it out, go research, and really understand how much a bookkeeper will actually take considering my scope of work. How much would actually cost me if I hire a VA? You will be surprised with the answer. So I really encourage that. The last thing here is leverage, right? So simplify, systematize, delegate, and leverage. I don't know about you, but I use AI for everything, for gardening, for my son's homework that I don't know what the fuck is happening with math, right? How people teach math, to everything above the sun in the business. It's faster. It helps me to think. I am not dependable on it. I increase my prompting skills and I use it as a team member, not just a tool that's going to tell me everything, right? The AI is as good as you prompt it. So really leverage that. And if you do those four things, you will gain your time back. But here's the trap. There is a trap. If you got your time back and you don't know what to do with it, if you don't have a plan, you're stuck again. So Liz, what people can do once they got a couple of hours back?
Absolutely nothing. No, I'm joking. So absolutely. What ends up happening is that we think setting big goals are going to get us, right, with that extra time to get us to that next target, that next fill in the blank. Women listening are driven, but goals don't grow your business. Plans do. And that's a very important one for the women listening. Because again, these are driven women. I know you're driven like us. And you have big dreams. You have big goals. You would be listening to this if you were just like everyone else in the world. And if you don't have a plan that really creates some structure that works for you to achieve that goal, the goal becomes really heavy and almost like you're almost like annoyed by it. You ever have a goal and you're like, you get almost mad at it because I've had that goal for 10 years and I've done nothing with it. And then you start to just get mad. And I know for me that goals that I've had that I haven't taken action on, I get really mad about. And so instead of feeling heavy, we want to really have you shift that to feeling excited. And the way to feel excited is not necessarily change the goal, but to really create a 90-day plan for yourself to achieve that goal. Or at least some goals might even need more than 90 days, but you're creating momentum and you're creating movement, micro actions that are going to build upon itself. That really matters in this business. So a couple of things. And for me, I can relate because I always set big goals. And then you take my husband, Matt, and I mean, the two of us love to sit around and just create big goals. Or we used to, and we still do. But we don't just create the big goal. Oh, we're going to have this or that. It's okay. What does that 90-day plan look like to move us in the direction? And typically that 90-day plan is micro. There's small steps to move the needle, if you will. I like to say that there's a focus, there's milestones, and then there's a piece of checking progress each week. I don't know about you, but if I'm not checking the progress on, okay, by this date, I've reached out to 3 accountants. Plans are always really important that you are the one able to take the action versus 5 of my offers got accepted. Can't control that. You got to have the controllables. So your milestones, your focus, your milestones, and then the progress is all in your control.
So if you're listening and you're thinking, I don't need a 90-day plan, I actually would be awesome to have a 12-month plan. Well, I have good news for you. If you're tired of cookie cutter strategies that no longer serve you, I invite you to join us during our 5-day financial freedom challenge. You're going to build a 12-month plan that fits your goals, your vision, your lifestyle. By the way, isn't that what building wealth on your own terms mean? So we're going to be doing the work with you. You're not going to walk away and do it all yourself. By the end of the day, you're going to start 2026 with clarity, purpose, and a clear plan to execute it. All the information will be over here on our show notes. I invite you to join us. Thank you so much for listening.